From the streets, back to the streets again, but of course, on a different level for a totally different reason. This is Brian in the streets. This is Brian back to the streets. Brian was brought up by his mother and a stepfather who made it clear that he wasn't his son and therefore not welcome in his home. Life at home got unbearable, and at the age of 6, Brian left to look for a place to call home or someone to hold his hand. Sadly, the world wasn't welcoming at all. Brian found himself in the streets of Nairobi, where his only hope for a meal was the leftovers in restaurants. He wasn't the only one. He met other children who became the family that he never had. They introduced him to their culture and lifestyle. In the streets, nurturing friendships was very important because trouble was always there looking for company. Brian had to share whatever he got with the rest, and on his unlucky days, they would return the favor. In the spirit of sharing, they offered him substances to make life in the cold, dark alleys more bearable. At first, Brian used these drugs because in his new family, everyone was doing it. And in the streets, no one is special than the other. But with time, he used it because he wanted it. He needed it. He was addicted. At the back of his mind, Brian knew that he didn't belong to the streets. In his heart, he longed for a normal life, a real family, and access to education. But how? Where? 7 years later, he got to learn about an organization called Made in the Streets, which supported and adopted kids from the streets. He gladly grabbed that opportunity, but Brian was not pleased about a couple of things. A lot had to change. The life he had known for years had to go. He could no longer access and use the drugs he held so dearly. To make it worse, he was thrust into a world of rules, a place of responsibility and of thinking about dreams and working towards achieving goals. Brian was confused for a while, but he was determined to stay and see what happens. He was enrolled to Made in the Streets education classes where he received basic primary education, after which he got a job at the school as a cook, where he nurtured his passion for preparing sumptuous meals. He practiced his trade for 3 years before enrolling for cooking classes at Nairobi Aviation College to polish his knowledge and skills. He stayed jobless for a year until a friend and sponsor of Made in the Streets offered him a job at Ocean Basket, Kenya. Brian was finally living the dream. He could now choose what he wanted, unlike before when he could only take what was available and on offer. After a while, Brian felt the need to go back to the streets and do the good that had been done unto him. Every day after work, Brian would walk through the streets of Nairobi talking to his former comrades and helping them out where he could. In 2013, he started a movement called Love for a Street Child and opened a Facebook page which he used to communicate and call out well-wishers. 3 years later, Brian officially quit his job and embarked on his new mission to support street families. He started out by partnering with friends who were also on the same mission. Brian's life is different because someone believed in him and set out to make that difference. You too can change someone's life by supporting Love for a Street Child movement in prayers and finances.